Welcome and thank you for choosing True Grit, the show about what it really takes to rise, rebuild, and stay the course when life hits hard. I'm Kalish Morrow, a coach, storyteller, and believer in the kind of strength you can't fake. Around here, we talk about real people, real stories, and the lessons that shape us, from resilience and mindset to health and healing, because grit isn't about grinding harder, it's about who you become when you don't quit. Let's get into it. All right, first podcast, here we go. I believe we should probably start at the beginning, not the very beginning, but the beginning of True Grit. What is True Grit? How did this come about? I feel like this is a really good starting point for this entire podcast, which actually True Grit podcast was the catalyst, and then I put it on the back burner for the last couple of years, and other things took precedent, and now here we are, full circle. So the name True Grit, if you believe it or not, came from my childhood teddy bear. Again, we're not going to go all the way back to the beginning, but this is an amalgamation of life experiences all coming together and starting at this really young age of one, at least the name of it. And to be very, very brief, because we won't go through the last 40 something years of history. I got this childhood stuffed animal, and my parents see me climbing all over this thing, and they just decided if there's a stuffed animal that is going to survive a child's love, it's going to have to be made of True Grit. Yes, based off of the John Wayne movie True Grit that was filmed years and years before. But it came top of mind, and it got shortened to T-Grit. And so for the longest time, I thought it was the T stood for teddy bear. And then my parents let me know, oh, no, it's True Grit, as in it needed to be able to withstand the test of time of being with you. So now we can fast forward to the time when I decided to start the business True Grit. I had already been going through my personal training, certification process, the nutrition coaching, and before that, the catalyst for that itself was actually losing my father to cancer. And watching him go through that, my own past experiences with immune diseases and cancer too, which I'll get into in a little bit. But I just thought if I could just help one or two people avoid this kind of thing, then it would all be worth it. And so I started the process of getting certified, and I've already been learning so much too through some of the top fitness podcasts and really digging into the research of how to really help people in a truly meaningful way. And here we are at the end of my certification process and deciding to start my own business, calling it True Grit Fitness. I felt like it was just so fitting, especially as you get to know my background and my history. I believe it will all make sense. And I am just really proud of what I've been putting out there. And I thought the podcast was going to be a really good way to get even deeper on what I have to share. I tend to be more of a long format person anyway. I like conversation. So it's actually a little weird to be staring at a camera and not necessarily have the back and forth going. But there will be future interviews and conversations too that come with this. But this is a really great just practice in general for me to get better at putting out the guidance that I want to get out there and pour into lessons and trainings and things I've come across, but hopefully in a very more palpable way too. I don't ever really want to be speaking over anybody's heads. That's not what this is going to be about. I'm refining that message to where you understand, and I want to do it with storytelling and just really powerful conversation as well. So we probably need to get a bit more into my background. As I stated before, I had 2 autoimmune diseases. I was a cancer survivor at a very young age, and it turned into this drive to live this big, beautiful life and search out all these experiences and push myself to kind of the upper limits. And again, just really enjoy life, because you never know when it's going to change. And it doesn't even have to be anything as extreme as, oh, you could die tomorrow. just everything can change the next day. One day I'm doing ballet as a little kid, and the next day I'm pulling myself up the stairs because I don't have the energy to climb the stairs anymore. I had dermatomyositis, inflammation of the muscles, and I had juvenile rheumatoid arthritis. So lots and lots of pain, lots of weakness, and lots of not being able to move like other kids should be able to move. So yes, I'm used to already feeling much older than I should be, especially at the age of 6 years old. Then as things got better, I was diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma, went through 6 months of chemotherapy and lost all my hair. You have fun things to go through when you're a teenage girl, having to wear wigs and go through all those fun things, hospitalizations, and then a couple weeks of radiation treatment too, where I get my first tattoos. Like I've got them right on my chest. And again, fun times, but it was a real eye opener too, because in reality, I could have died just sitting on the couch watching TV. And I believe that's what helped me override those normal self-preservation instincts that a lot of people will get. So when it came time to go jump out of airplanes, it was, I'd remind myself like, you could have died just sitting on a sofa, so may as well go for it. Now, a lot of that changed, though, obviously, when we had our kids. And that's how my husband and I met. We were both skydivers. And I'll get into that story some other time, too. But we tabled that for the indefinite future. And then I had to go on and reinvent myself. I became a business owner, led me down the path of the local politics. And here we are in 2020, and I am covered in champagne, standing next to my campaign manager because we just won my campaign for city council by a landslide after everybody told us that we weren't going to succeed. And rightfully so. In 2016, I fell flat on my face. My first campaign, I came in dead last. I was number 4. And from that point, I had to learn how to fail forward, or I did learn how to fail forward, and took all those lessons and applied it to that next chapter. And I mean, we were beside ourselves. We put so much heart into that. Our team was just phenomenal. But again, there are so many stories I do want to get into. So this is just going to be that taster of all of these things that I want to impart on you. The failing forward, adopting kind of like that winner attitude, because that was our whole thing during that campaign too. It's just focus on the win. Just focus on the win. Anytime we would get sidetracked, just focus on the win. A lot of these lessons we can adapt now to our health and wellness and the mindset that goes into adapting our more sedentary lives to those sorts of principles. But again, this was just a taster, and I am so excited to actually be launching this podcast and so many more things to come in the future. But thank you for joining in. Thank you so much for being here on True Grit. I truly appreciate it. If this episode sparked something in you, share it, subscribe, or leave a quick review. It helps more people find these conversations. For more ways to connect, head to true-grit.fitness or come say hi on Instagram at true.grit_bold.wellness. I'll see you next time with more stories, lessons, and a little bit of grit.